Joining me is my friend Michael from the Department of Trade Consumer Protection. Well, I think we're buddies. I hope we're buddies by now. I mean, I know everything about Michael because he's told me everything that I need to know when it comes to scams and protection and more. Michael, before we talk about the topic, how are you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, and we are indeed friends. The only thing left is get our matching tattoos. We'll make it official.
DATCP, Jeremy and Michael, forever. I love it. Today we're going to be spotlighting a change of address, and this is a scam, change of address scam. And I like when you tell me in the pre-meeting here that this is interesting, Jeremy. And I'm reading through this. I am sort of blown away that they found another way.
They did, and this is one that is somewhat new, but a little easy to do, and that's why we want to bring awareness on how you need to pay attention to what's going on. So this is how it works. The first thing is they get the person's information, and all they need is a name and address. And this is real easy to find with as many software programs and all those websites. You know, if you wanted to type in your my name, it's not too hard to at least find the basics of our name and address or previous address. Or if you're at a, say you live in an apartment or a multifamily building, oftentimes the mailboxes will have the name that goes to that particular unit. So you match it up and there you have it. And with those two things, what's happening is the scammer will send in a change of address form through the post office, and having that mail rerouted to whatever address they put on there. And with that change of address form, there's no personal identifiers. You don't need a lot of information to achieve that. So what happens is then all of that mail gets diverted to the new address. So they start opening up, whether it be credit card bills, other personal information you're receiving from subscriptions, anything else that's coming. And now through that, they can start building a better profile about who you are, and then use it in a number of ways to steal your identity, open new accounts, a variety of things they can misuse it with.
Again, I'm just blown away that it could be as simple as filling out a form with just some very minimal facts. And in fact, you have now started to not receive mail. So what would be some things that stand out here that are going to tip you off that, you mean, some people will be like, God, I've been happy I haven't been getting mail, but uh-oh.
Yeah, and everybody would be, especially, during the election season, we were bombarded with flyers. And so now it might be a little bit difficult because you may not understand what that normal pace or volume is that you're getting. But let's just say things hold steady for a bit. The first thing you want to do is what you said, pay attention. If you start getting things that you normally got, or if you every day would get 4 or 5 things and all of a sudden you're going 2-3 days without anything, and that's unusual, that should be an indicator for you. Another is if you happen to get a change of address validation from the post office saying, hey, looks like you're getting your mail routed someplace else and you didn't do it, that's not a red flag. That is fireworks going off. That should say, okay, something's amiss here, especially if you combine that with the lack of volume you normally would get. Another reason is if you start seeing accounts being opened in your name for different things. And you hop online, you get an email that says this was open in your name, we're tying it to. That's another indicator. But a big one too is if you pay your bills online or you have online accounts, and you'll see on there they're pretty good about notifying you that your mailing address or billing address has changed. If you get one of those notification emails, and of course you want to vet it and verify it and make sure that it's not a subsequent scam or something that's being perpetrated by those who got your information. But that would be something you'd say, okay, this doesn't seem right. Another one is those accounts that you do have online. All of a sudden your bank account starts getting tapped for withdrawals you didn't make, or your credit card's starting to get charges that you didn't, you obviously didn't make. And that can be done through those bank statements or those credit card bills that are all coming through the mail that they had diverted to them. Another one is medical bills. And so often, we talked about this previously, and we get a lot of medical billing complaints here. I think it was number 6 last year. So if all those medical bills are coming and you have that information and you start building a profile off of that piece by piece with other things, then all of a sudden you're going to be getting services. You're going to find out that somebody may have went in to the hospital or doctor's office and had some type of services using your information, those basic things. So what you want to do is pay attention to all these things. Individually, they could be a red flag, but if you're starting to see 2 or 3 of them, that's a pretty good indicator that something went sideways.
I like the term fireworks because that is 100% true. You notice something right away, like a change of address note. Yeah, you got a problem there. I was thinking too, this time of year, we're getting a lot of packages. And if it was coming from the United States Post Office and it said it delivered, and you're like, wait, I never got a package. Where did that go? I think, there's another good indicator right now that you got a problem.
It is, and that the one you mentioned, it's a great example because this time of year is where it's most prevalent is the shipping scams. So now you tie in a change of address with also a shipping scam because we're getting so many things delivered, and those are really, really starting to explode. You really don't know what's real and what's not. And I've watched this in the past couple of weeks through my personal accounts and a couple of family members. The number of scams that are coming through is crazy, and thankfully, here I have awareness of all those different ones that are going on, but that's why I appreciate opportunities like this to say, pay attention, because it's really, really easy to not notice some of these indicators, to think that it's just, part of the season, this is what's happening, and not paying attention to the fine details, especially with the shipping one.
Yeah, I assume it's one of those things like, man, I usually get my tax bill, like it was mailed out on the 15th, and where the heck is it? This would be a kind of that indicator. Regardless, let's talk about minimizing the risk. So while we're freaking you out here, let's rein you in and say, there are some steps here, and Michael has mentioned a few of them, but there are ways that you can get on top of this right now, and there's some simple things.
Yeah, so the first one is, hey, go paperless. Almost every single account or vendor that you work for allows you to have electronic bills, statements, invoices. So sign up for those. Clearly, the less mail you get at the mailbox is less of an opportunity for those things to get diverted to somebody else. So that's the first one. The second is just try and collect your mail as quick, as soon as you can. Don't leave it sitting in there for extended periods of time. Especially if you have your mailbox is at the end of the driveway, mailbox at the end of the house. If that's just sitting in there, it's very, very easy to just roll up, especially at night, and grab it, and then you have, that same information that you're looking for. So that's why you want to make sure you go in and grab it. And then the other is those online accounts that we talked about setting up or billings is have fraud indicators. A lot of them have free services with identity theft detection, things that will alert you that there's been any type of change to your account, whether it be address, withdrawals, change of activity, things like that. And they're all free. So take advantage of them.
Yeah, and these are difficult steps by any means, but definitely going that extra mile there, and recommend, we're getting close to the end of the year here too, and double checking your accounts is common for a lot of the different types of scams we talk. So, like you said, checking into those and setting up some type of detection is a must these days, because there are just so many different types of scams. So appreciate the help. If people do want to learn more about this or any other of the scams out there, great information on how to protect yourself, how can they do that, Michael?
Yeah, I encourage everyone to go to our website at DATCP.wi.gov. We have a library of information that goes into greater detail on this particular scam and all those other ones that you just mentioned.
Whew. Well, I'm exhausted, and I am definitely going to be checking the mailbox twice tonight for good reason. So, Michael, great information. Thank you so much, and appreciate all your help this year. It's been fun to get to know you, and I hope you have a safe and great holiday season.
Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate the sentiment. Appreciate the opportunity to share the information, and keep an eye on the mailbox for that tattoo invite.
Absolutely, matching tattoos.